Hello, friends. Welcome again to the Lighthouse podcast. My name is Alex Camargo. I'm here with a good friend and an agent who's been in business for 37 years. She brings so much experience, not only to herself and her team, but to all of us in this community. Linda McCaffrey is here with us. Check it out right after this. So Linda, so good to have you here.
Well, it's great to see you. I've missed seeing you.
Same here. I'm so happy that we have this opportunity to have a good conversation and to be able to, actually for me to pick your brain and share your experience with more people, the people who don't already know you, right? Linda McCaffrey from McCaffrey Real Group or team at Coldwell Banker.
Yes.
Who are you? Tell us about yourself.
Well, I am a mother first. I have 3 grown children, and I've been in this community for 40 years, and I've been in real estate 37 years. And nobody comes into real estate on purpose. I kind of came into it from other professions, but I found my mission and why I do it. I've been with 3 companies, and I've seen the industry change and evolve. As I was telling you, Alex, I did a talk the other day about 37 years in real estate, and most of the people I was talking to were younger than 37 years old. And I was saying when I started in real estate, there were no cell phones, no internet, no GPS, and not even fax machines. So we've seen a lot of change, and I love seeing things develop. Things change so fast in our industry. And I just love the creativity that it makes us grow every day.
That's awesome.
So that's who I am.
That's awesome. So let's talk about those changes. 37 years ago, the real estate world was completely different, and most people don't actually know what that was like,
yes.
Right? So on a day-to-day now as agents, we go on the MLS, we access listings, everything is in one happy place for us.
No, it wasn't that way back then. We had a book. And we got the book every other week. And if you had a new listing, you would deliver hand-typed flyers to all of the offices saying, it isn't in the book yet, here it is. And people would actually come to the office and ask for the realtor on duty. So floor duty was a big thing. People didn't call listing agents. They just came to the office, walked in, things like that. So very, very different environment. Very office-centric environment for agents.
Yeah, that's awesome. And nowadays, an agent really has to create their brand.
Yes.
So it was more about the brokerage firm and the company
Yes.
at that point, and now almost everybody has to try to find their...
Yeah, I was somewhat of a disruptor. I am known for being the first person to put sign writers on their listings because, oh my gosh, then people would call and ask for the listing agent. So I was not real popular with that idea. And just starting to self-brand because when somebody, this is a real trust industry. Yeah. And certainly I have to be with a brand that I trust, and I always have been. Mm-hmm. But they're doing business with the agent. They have to know who the agent is and what their motives are.
Of course.
So that's why I started doing it, to have that name recognition.
That's awesome. And you started at an office, but then you started with a brokerage firm, but then you went on your own.
And I love my brokerage firm. Mm-hmm. It was a great national corporation, but not on the fault of the owner, but the national corporations were not moving to the internet fast enough for me. Mm-hmm. Not that I was that progressive, but I knew I needed to go where my buyers were. So I started my own company and was there 12 years. And the only reason I changed was that I needed more internet presence. And for me, it was a huge expense as an individual company. The big companies have the leverage.
Yeah.
So I needed a brand to support my brand. I didn't sell my company. I merged with my company, with the company Coldwell Banker. So we're the McCaffrey professionals at Coldwell Banker, which allowed me to do both, keep my branding and be associated with the big guys.
Yeah, and it's a good structure. It's a good backbone, and it still allows you to have your own brand, right? Tell us about agents. So you're a team leader, and of course you're your own broker at the time, and your agents merged with Coldwell Banker with you, and now you're a team leader at Coldwell Banker. You have been since you joined, since you merged with Coldwell Banker. Why a team, or why agents, and why not just do this business on your own?
Well, a lot of people ask me that question because I do a lot of business by myself. It's not that I have to have a team, but they make me better. And the reason they make me better, a couple things. First of all, a lot of them are younger than I am, so they ask me questions that I never thought to ask myself. They push me in directions I might not be pushed. But together, we're collaborative, and I believe in a collaborative environment. Mm-hmm. It makes us all better. I bring my knowledge, my wisdom, my experience, my resources to the table. If they need a mason, I have 5, that kind of thing. And if they have a problem that they've never had before, they always, Linda, has this ever happened to you? And I'll go, oh my God, I'm sorry you're going through that. I'm sorry. Here's the guy who does the underground oil tank testing for you. And this, so it's my resources. Also, I produce a lot of material for them. So there is value for them because I love studying the market. I understand that to be good in this industry, you have to be able to advise people with good information so that they can make informed decisions.
Of course. And we were talking about this before we started the podcast. The media in general instills so much fear in the population, right? So a trusted, knowledgeable agent is everything.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, and that's one of our biggest jobs over the past 4 years, but always, is to give people the real story and understand 2020, 2021, even 2022 are what I call the unicorn years. Yeah. Unicorns, you just never see them, and we're never going to see those years again. And what the media has been doing is doing year-over-year comparisons and putting out there, oh my God, the number of homes is down, the prices are down. Well, first of all, it's not true in our area, so they do national news, so you have to be really geo-specific in your news. And second of all, we're back to normal. We are getting, not there yet, but we're back to normal.
Yeah. And one of the things that I admire about you, and we've been friends in this business since I started, so it's been 10 years now.
Can't be 10 years already.
10 years in a few months.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. You have been in this business for 37 years.
Yes.
You've weathered all of the storms along the way.
Yes.
And for most agents who've been in business for 25, 30, 35 plus years, they're tapering off right now. Like their business is, sometimes they're going to the office to sell a few transactions a year. I could safely say you're at your best right now at year 37.
I had my best year last year in 37 years of real estate.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen by accident. So tell us, what's your why? What drives you?
Well, I understand how important real estate is for a lot of reasons. It comprises 16% of the gross national product, which might not mean anything to anybody, except it is an important part of the American economy. Yeah. And the second thing is, I don't sell houses. That's not my job. I sell dreams. I sell lifestyle choices. I help people get unstuck and move from where they are to where they need to be. I get them through the process, but I also help them visualize a better future for themselves. So I am very important in people's happiness and life goals. Mm-hmm. To me, what better job is there out there? And I also love the creativity that you can have in real estate and the impact you can have in the community. I think I make a difference in people's lives, not just my clients, but also my agents.
Of course. And I like that you mentioned community because, you're a very predominant agent in the community that you live. You can't talk about Brookfield without talking about Linda McCaffrey when it comes to real estate.
Well, it's funny. Somebody says, oh, well, you must know them. They live in Brookfield. They assume I know everybody.
Well, you may not know everybody, but everybody knows you. How about that?
Yeah, well, from your mouth kind of thing. But I am very involved. I started the Brookfield Chamber. I was voted Educator of the Year by the Brookfield school system, which is strange because I'm not a teacher, but because
you just don't have that title.
Yeah. Because of my work with youth groups, and I'm very active in the Lions Club. I think it's important. It's how we connect as a society.
Yeah, and in your quest over your real estate career, I always tell people this: a real estate agent is an important member of his community, as a fireman is, as a police officer is, and everybody has their own merit. But we help with shelter. That's our job, right?
It's one of the main things: food, shelter, and clothing.
Exactly. So we have. I believe that we have earned that title if you do a good job as an agent, right? If you've proved yourself over a span of years or time. But I also believe, and you're really good at this, that the same way you can earn that title, you can have that title, there's also the duties that come with that, right? When the microburst rips through town, you don't
everybody.
Run from it. You run towards it.
You run towards the fire.
You check in on your people. Yeah.
Do you have electricity? Can you get into your house? You don't know how many of my listings called me and said, the garage door opener doesn't work and I can't get in my house. Can you come unlock my house for me? You know, and my poor husband is walking over fallen trees and whatever to get to these houses to let people in. Yeah. I mean, we care about our community. If we have power outages, what do you need? Kind of thing.
Yeah. And
I think people are hesitant to do that. Not that they don't want to, but they don't know what they can do to help.
Yeah.
And just calling is helpful.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember when that microburst happened. I'm calling. I called to help and ended up filling up that space super fast because most of my clients needed electricity. Yeah. So I'm calling. I had good connections at PC Richards or some of the local companies, and I'm calling my friends there. I'm like, I need generators, and they're telling me, okay, we have one in Orange. Okay, call my client. Let's go get this one in Orange.
Exactly.
Put them in the truck and let's go.
Exactly.
But we're if we want to be important members of our community, then there's a duty that comes with it, and we have to act it out. We have to be there to help. Yeah.
Yes, I totally agree with that. Yeah. I wake up every day saying, who can I help today? Whose life can I make better? Or who can I give support to, find a resource for, connect somebody with that will help them in their business? It seems very trivial, but like yesterday, I got an email, the 20 best things to do with kids this summer. I spent 10 minutes, big deal, emailing that out to maybe 20 people that I know who have kids.
Yeah.
That kind of thing, just sharing.
Yeah, that's awesome. What are some of the challenges that you've seen, that you saw in this industry that you can look back and say, all right, when the MLS started, there was a challenge. And then recently, was there another challenge? And more importantly, what are some of the challenges that you're seeing now?
Well, the biggest challenge, as you know, Alex, is lack of inventory. That is the biggest challenge we have right now, and that's based on fear and overwhelm of people. They don't know what to believe. The media is feeding them all this. The market is going to crash. We're in for another recession. And I just know that is so not true. In the past 5 years, we get this every single year.
It's been
for
crashing
5
every
years.
year.
If you bought a house 5 years ago in our area, it's appreciated 50%. So nobody who's bought a house in the last 5 years has said, gee, I wish I'd waited. Gee, I wish I didn't do it then. My people call me and go, oh my God, thank you for encouraging me and giving me the confidence to move forward and get a house when everybody said I should wait.
Yeah.
So that to me is the biggest challenge. Another big challenge is everybody refinanced at 3%. And now the interest rates are still high. And people are having a hard time balancing their 3% mortgage with a better lifestyle. And I understand that. For some people, it's not the right time to move. But the interest rates are heading down, and they will be down into the mid-5s by the end of the year and probably into the mid-4s. I get this from every statistician, every economist, everybody. And when they get to that level, the inventory will start shaking loose. It's already starting to shake loose. Mostly from the people who are over 70, who've been putting it off because of fear of COVID, X, Y, and Z, own their houses outright, will buy the next house outright. So I'm starting to get those calls. So we're going to see it.
And
it's not lack of buyers. The buyers were buying at 7%.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel that when interest rates shot up, there was so much fear, and the purchases slowed down a little bit.
Yes, it sure did.
Yeah, and looking back, it didn't slow down because of the interest rate. It slowed down because of fear.
Yes.
And then it slowed down because a lot of people, a lot of buyers actually said, oh, it's going to go to 10%. The market will crash. I can buy this house for 2/3 of the price. That's not happening anytime soon.
No.
It's very hard for this. Everybody wants to compare this to 2008.
Oh, it's such a different market. Yeah. The average credit score, I just read this the other day. I actually listened to a podcast by a former CEO of the National Mortgage Brokers Association. The average interest rate now for borrowers getting mortgages, not that they have to have this number, is 765. Are these people going to forfeit their homes?
Yeah.
Most people have at least 50% equity in their home.
Yeah.
39% own their homes outright. Another 29% have at least 50% equity in their homes. This is not happening.
Yeah, and it's simple math, right? If you have that much equity in your house, and if the market takes a turn, or if you have to sell for unforeseen circumstances, you have plenty of equity in it to walk out, still make some money.
That's right.
So how can we go into a ton of foreclosures? It's hard. I mean, can they still happen?
And again, the media says foreclosures are up 50%. Well, yeah, we had a moratorium for 3 years. Of course they're up 50%. Yeah. But in the crash, our foreclosure rate was 36% of homes out there were distressed properties. Today it's 4%.
Yeah, look at that.
So prices are not going to be falling.
Yeah. Well, my friend, I appreciate you spending some time with us and sharing your knowledge and sharing who you are.
Oh, it's my pleasure. It's a real honor to be asked, Alex.
Oh, of course. And we definitely have to do a part 2 for this. I wanted to go the extra mile and say I appreciate all the work that you do in your community, right? We can all benefit from something that Linda does one way or another, right? I know that plenty of people will meet with you at your BNI groups, and then plenty of people can benefit from what you do or have done with the chamber. And I wanted to say, keep that up. Right?
Yes.
Don't look to retire now. You're selling a lot. You're making a lot of money. Hopefully you can be here for another 10, 20 years selling real estate. And it's an honor to have you here.
Well, thank you. A lot of people say, if you won the lottery, what would you do, Linda? I said, well, I wouldn't retire. I would just have less stress in my life. But yeah, because I love what I do, and I think it keeps me young.
Yeah, that's awesome. Super thankful that you're here. Hopefully we can set up some time and do a part 2 of this, because you have so much to give and so much information.
Well, thank you for asking me. It's a real honor.
Well, folks, that's it. Linda McCaffrey here with us. It's such a pleasure to have her. If you haven't had an opportunity, just click on like and subscribe to this channel. And if you live in the Brookfield, Connecticut area, feel free to share this with somebody that you know. Linda is very active in this market, and there's a lot of value that she can bring to her clients and friends here. And once again, we'll see you next time.